Welcome to the source. The source. Source. Hey, get the source.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. It's officially Thursday because this is after midnight on the East Coast. Hope you all had a nice Thursday night. I had an action-free Thursday night. I can't remember the day. A day went by that I didn't have something down. Couldn't find anything I liked. There was a couple angles I liked in the MAC games. Problem was the weather was so up in the air, and a lot of both of the angles I liked relied on a passing attack, and I just didn't know if I could count on it being there. By the way, glad I passed because I would have lost it. So sometimes, that's the correct decision. If you fold the losing hand, that's a winning decision right there. So, yeah, I didn't have a single bet open tonight. Tomorrow, not the case, but I actually bet both football games tomorrow. But we're talking about college basketball. First game up is Oklahoma State FAU, and actually we got a hot rod coming in from Rod Z. Bet on Florida Atlantic as the neutral court on. I got a Rod graphic now. I know. Bet on Florida Atlantic as a neutral court underdog or pick. Florida Atlantic record since the 2023 season in those instances 8-0 against the spread from Rod himself. So, are you going with the Andy? Do you believe in Rod's trend?
In theory, I do.
Put him on the spot.
So I didn't get to make the graphic for it, but it's something I already played. I have Oklahoma State's team total under 80.5. There's two reasons I went with only Oklahoma State's. A, this is a neutral site game, so I think that the neutral site under is a thing. However, Florida Atlantic's played 2 straight games at Charleston Stadium, so this isn't really even a neutral site for them anymore. This is their 3rd straight game there, so I'm worried about them being able to score a lot. Not worried about Oklahoma State. I think that this Oklahoma State offense is very overrated. They have played teams that are not as fast as them. They don't run as fast as them. This is the first team that they will play this year so far that runs a faster pace than them. And they are scoring so many points compared to what you would expect them to score. They're not expected to be this juggernaut. Not that they're a juggernaut, but they've scored 80 points in every game. That's not going to happen, especially on a neutral floor against a team that's just as fast as them. Yes, I know the Florida Atlantic defense did have a stinker. Actually, I think they've had 2 so far this year where they gave up 100-plus points.
Wait. Are you saying over or under 80.5?
I have under.
Oh, I thought you said over.
No, I have the team total under because I think this is a perfect sell high spot for Oklahoma State because everyone's looking at what FAU's done, and they've done a poor job defensively in a couple of their games, and Oklahoma State's done a great job, but this is not the offense you're going to see from Oklahoma State. I think a lot of that is opponents, and I think the fact that this is a neutral site is going to play big into Oklahoma State. Neutral site unders are a thing, and for them, it's a true neutral site. So Oklahoma State team total under.
Strong words there.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I played FAU as soon as the line dropped at 2.5. It's at 1.5 now. I would still play it. I think they win this game. Andy touched on it. It's not really a neutral for FAU. It's more of a neutral for Oklahoma State. Not to mention the fact the best offense that Oklahoma State has seen this year so far is St. Thomas, who's number 126. FAU's number 40. So it's a pretty big step up in class. And not to mention, FAU has played a head and shoulders, better schedule. Number 84 in the country. They had a couple cakewalks to start, but Liberty, Charleston, UCF. 2 of those teams are top 75 team. Charleston, I don't really know what to think of them now with Kelsey gone, but with Chris Mack there, they're 4-1 right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they're a top 100 team by the time a month or 2 rolls around. And if you take a look at what Oklahoma State has done, they've played a terrible schedule. Green Bay, St. Thomas, and Southern Illinois. They barely beat Southern Illinois. They could have lost to St. Thomas, and they beat Green Bay against a team in Doug Gottlieb. That was his first game coaching. It's just a lot of turnover there. You're expected to win those games if you're Oklahoma State. FAU's also played multiple neutral site games, not even regardless if it's where it's at. They played neutral site games. Oklahoma State's played all 3 games at home, and now they're facing a significant step up in competition. I texted Andy. I don't understand. Oklahoma has this. KenPom has this game at 1. I made FAU -2, 2.5. So to get them at +2.5, I just didn't even understand the line. So obviously it's been corrected a little bit more. But yeah, I'm very, very confident on FAU.
What number did you get it at?
2.5.
Okay, so it's still in the ballpark.
I wouldn't. And if you don't want to take, if you're a money line person, it's the same difference. Yeah, they should win this game pretty easily.
Got another one in from Rod. Bet against Oklahoma State in away or neutral games on the money line after 2 straight games with 9 or less offensive rebounds. Oklahoma State's record since last year 1-10 in those instances.
Not good.
Not good. It's not a good record.
Good.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Also, Andy, that under 80 team total, I didn't even look at the team totals. That might be the freest bet of the day. That is ridiculous.
The total, I think, is actually 81.5. I got it at 80.5 because, like,
I was actually considering the over 80.5 there.
Yeah, you were deep looking into that before?
I was considering. I didn't pull the trigger, but I was considering the over. Expecting a lot of shot making.
He had to get his mind off of college football. So it takes 45 minutes and caps a couple college basketball games.
Someone said, is that actually Rod? Yeah, I think. Oh, I guess I didn't confirm if it's actually Rod. Imagine it's someone pretending to be Rod.
I was going to ask. I had to ask.
That's going to be an all-timer.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'll reach out to Rod on Twitter. We follow each other on Twitter, so I'll reach out to him and make sure it's really him. Because it just hit me like, I actually never even confirmed. Might be a psychopath pretending to be Rod. Just spewing out fake trends. We don't even know they're fake. All right. Next up is Baylor, St. John's. Neutral site, right?
Yes. This is
sorry.
Yeah. All right, Johnny's here. Aren't you big on the Johnnies this year, Andy?
Put the belt up, Andy.
I
put the
love
belt
the
up,
Johnnies, dude. I think.
Wait, you guys are on opposite sides?
Yes, we are.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay.
did you actually bet it? Congratulations.
No, I'm waiting for it because I think it's.
Here we go.
I'm waiting because I think it's gonna keep going up. I think people are crazy. I think
agree.
St. John's is the better team. Plain and simple. I think they are the better team. They are bigger. They are stronger. We have seen Baylor play one game against a fast-paced team. I know you're gonna say it's Gonzaga. That team's special. Whatever. This is a fast Patino-paced team. This team is just so much quicker than the other opponents. Similar to Gonzaga in pace, obviously. They're not as good as Gonzaga. Obviously, we know Gonzaga is probably the best team in the country right now. But St. John's is really fast, and Baylor struggled with that to open the season. I'm not saying that it's going to be exactly the same. I'm not saying they're going to lose by 50, but we saw them have trouble with a fast-paced team, and there is no faster-paced team than a Rick Pitino coach team. I think this is a great spot for them. Also, like I said, the size advantage is significant here. St. John's has, I think they're one of the tallest teams in the Big East. They are really strong, and they can rebound really well. So I think great overall spot. Plus, St. John's is shooting pretty well.
Andy, I want to back the Johnnies with you. As you know, New York, I'm down to back St. John's, except doesn't this feel a little short for Baylor? Baylor? It's like a premier program. What are we doing here? 2.5?
What makes
Andy's dead right. I mean, dead right. I mean, he's right. I mean, that line continues to go up. I bet Baylor earlier today at 1.5. I think the question that we have to, I don't worry about the Baylor offense. I trust Scott Drew. I trust guys like Nunn, Jeremy Roach. Those guys, I trust what they're able to do. I mean, and we saw them in 3 of their 4 games this year. They've put up 100 points. Obviously, none of those teams besides they scored 2 of those 4 games 100 points. Obviously, none of those teams are St. John's. I get that. But at the same time, they've also played a much better schedule than St. John's so far. I mean, has St. John's been tested by anybody? I mean,
it's a top 60 team.
I was just about to ask you that, Andy. Do you want to sit here on this show right now and say that New Mexico is a good team? I don't think you're willing to do that. If you want to, you're more than welcome to. But again, New Mexico, a team that lost to St. John's, and then they had a decent win against a good UCLA team. Again, I think that part of that is that their pace. But regardless, I just think that Baylor, I also think that Baylor defensively isn't as bad as what the metrics tell us they're going to be. As far as effective field goal percentage, they're 258. But again, you're playing teams like Gonzaga and Arkansas and Sam Houston State. And now this is the Johnnies. Well, guess what? This is like another top 100 offense that this Baylor team is going to face defensively. I think they're only going to get better. Yes, the size advantage is a little bit there, but at the same time, with this neutral floor, I think that Scott Drew's a better coach, and I think that this early in the year with this Johnny's team, Andy? I'm not even talking shit. Are you sold that Kadari Richmond's going to be able to run this show flawlessly against this Baylor defense?
It seemed like they were running through their big men more anyway.
Which brings me to my next point is that if Edgecombe is, or however the hell you say his last name, is prancing around and Omir is prancing around too. I mean, it's not like they're tiny down there. It's not like those guys can't play. I think this is the game of the day. I don't know.
33rd in defending 2-point shots, so they're not playing well inside in the paint.
I disagree with the game of the day.
49th in 2-point percentage, so they're scoring inside and they're not defending inside. I understand competition matters, but
right. So again, I think both of these teams are very good. And both of us have different opinions, but I do think it's a coin flip. I don't think either one of us would be surprised if either team won by 10. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
So Andy, you said you're waiting. What number are you waiting for? Like 4.5?
I mean, I just think it's going to keep going up because everybody's on Baylor. I've seen everybody's on them. So.
All right, we'll revisit this on tomorrow's live show, and you can let us know.
I'm just going to throw myself off.
You can let us know.
Everybody 96% of the money was on UTEP tonight, plus 5.5 with me. They won outright, Andy.
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
You know that was free as hell.
Yeah, I had to guess.
I kind of side with Toast here, by the way. I'm put a Baylor thing up. I don't know shit, though. All right, let's go to the next one.
Games played in a ballroom.
I know that's another thing that sucks. Also, Sauce, did you think this was the game of the day? What was your choice on
next
game of
one?
the day?
Disrespectful, most disrespectful line I've ever seen.
Jerry Kill.
Yeah.
I had a feeling that was coming.
Catching 3.5. Catching. Jerry Kill.
This guy. What are we doing here?
It's like the odds makers don't even know who Jerry Kill is.
Oh, I didn't realize that my parlay actually goes with exactly the next 3 games.
Oh, you got a 3-leg money line parlay, don't you?
We do.
Wait, wait, hold on. You collectively have a 3-leg parlay?
We talked.
Well, it was he said it's Andy's idea. I'll give him that. I had a different team in there. He put another team in there, and then I was like, "Well, it's plus 120 on FanDuel," and he's like, "Oh, it's a bet." So we both bet it.
All right, hold on. I'm going to.
You had in it that I.
Let's type this type this so-called parlay on the screen. Or
No. I made a graphic.
Oh, you even made a graphic for it. All right.
My other team was VCU.
You had VC. Yeah. VC.
You made a graphic in here for
the
this?
last graphic overall. There
it is.
Oh,
you guys are both on this.
Correct.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's see.
I'll quote Andy.
I can tell you right now, it's losing.
I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say Nevada. Nevada is the team that probably most people are worried about. I think they are far better than Vanderbilt. I think they're going to crush Vanderbilt.
I was gonna say you might as well just say dog walk, Andy.
Syracuse has been playing down to their competition like crazy. I mean, to start with this one, they were playing down to everybody. They struggled with Colgate. They struggled with Lemoyne. They struggled with everybody, and they haven't played a good schedule. Texas, on the other hand, they've played a good schedule. They did struggle their first game, but they have been very, very good. They're a great, talented team. They're going to be able to score. They're going to be able to defend. I don't see how Syracuse keeps this game close. Now, would I lay 10.5? Probably not, because it's a neutral site game, and it's in Brooklyn, so it's actually more of a semi-home game for Syracuse. But I don't think that they're keeping this close. So I have Texas winning the game outright. And if you want to lay it. But the fact that it's in New York scares me a little bit.
Does that opener against Ohio State didn't worry you? They look like shit.
Ohio State was shooting the lights out.
Okay.
That one was crazy.
Ohio State in that game shot 50% from deep. It was just an absolute. They couldn't miss. They couldn't miss.
Before you go to Toast, I do have a rod spot.
Hell yeah.
Bet on Rick Pitino on the first half line versus teams who attempt 21 or more 3-point shots a game on the season. Pitino's record on the first half line in those instances as a coach at St. John's, 17-4 ATS. Thank you, Rod. All right, so you both like Texas to win outright. Well, I mean, they're 10.5 point favorites. Right?
Yeah. So the reason that I can't lay 10 with Texas is Andy made a great point where the game's at in Brooklyn. Not to mention the fact that neither one of these teams have played anybody. Texas played that Ohio State game, and then after that, 357 Houston Christian, 353 Chicago State, 364 Mississippi Valley State. I mean, the Texas's strength of schedule is 362. Syracuse strength of schedule right now so far is 343. Syracuse just had an issue with at home against a Youngstown State team that's 184 in Ken Palm. That team took them to 2 overtimes. Again, neither one of these teams, they're both really pretty big. I mean, considering across the country, they're both pretty experienced as well. I just can't lay 10 points with a Rodney Terry coach team on the road and on neutral. It's just not going to happen.
Rodney Terry last year, they played a neutral site in Madison Square Garden, and they nearly lost to Louisville.
Oh,
that's the type of team he coaches.
And then the next game they gave your boys.
Oh, I was at that game. Boat race by UConn. Yeah, that was. So this is an experience.
Boat race. They won by 10. Andy.
With UConn?
Huh?
Boat race. Boat race.
Connecticut won by 10
Dude,
last year.
they were winning by 20 late in the game. They took all their guys out, and Texas scored 10 easy ones. I was there. I saw it. It was a boat racing.
Okay. I was there. I was there. It was a boat race. Trust me on that. Hold on 1 second, and we'll move on to the next game.
To give Andy credit, they were up 29-14 in the first 10 minutes of the game.
It was ugly.
Guys, so while you're talking, I just built a parlay of my own and placed it.
You dude.
This is actually.
If you put Vanderbilt in that parlay, I might.
Dude, look, he's about to pull it up. He put every other team in.
I got Syracuse money line, Vanderbilt money line, and Virginia money line. $50 to pay 4,500. The anti of your parlay.
I swear to God.
Did you? If he hit
placed. All right.
It faded completely.
But didn't Syracuse? Didn't they just land the #1 recruit next year? I thought I saw.
They got Carmelo's kid.
Oh, it's Carmelo's kid?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were comparing him to Carmelo. I didn't know it was actually his. Oh shit! And he's a highly touted recruit.
Oh yeah,
and he's actually
dude. Cuse is back. Cuse is winning that game.
Well, and the best part about it for Cuse fans is that he was really considering USC. Like he went out to California. Eric Muscle, he was loving it. He was loving the dorms. Like it was like an actual decision. He said so. Big win for them.
All right, next up, disrespectful as hell. Clearly, the odds makers haven't caught on to what they're doing out there in Vanderbilt. Money line, right, guys?
Andy, go ahead.
No, this is not a money line. Vanderbilt. So just to start, Ken Pom has this at 6. That's almost double the line.
Right.
Nevada significantly better. They're fat. They're actually the opposite in terms of pace. Vanderbilt's 4th in pace, which is insane. And they're not turning the ball over, which it makes no sense to me. A team that's running fast isn't turning the ball over. That's amazing.
Because they're playing nobody. They're playing Maryland Eastern Shore and Southeast Missouri and Jackson State.
Their game against Cal hasn't. I mean, their game against Cal, I guess, aged well because Cal beat USC the other day. But other than that, they played nobody. This is not
sorry to interrupt you again, but Cal didn't have their head coach for that game. There was a lot of weird things, and there was a bad travel spot for Cal. I mean, you can really pick apart that win for Vandy. Sorry.
Nevada's so much better defensively too. That eventually Vanderbilt's not gonna be able to put up they're not gonna be able to put up the points they were putting up against these other teams against Nevada. So I think it's just significant talent advantage. Nevada should crush them.
Disagree.
Yeah. I don't understand. I guess I didn't understand the line. What is it right now? I think it's 4.5 or 3.5. So it continues to go down. That's why I didn't touch it. I think it's at 4.5 now. I could be wrong on that, but regardless, Vanderbilt hasn't played anybody. Again, Andy touched on it. I think that Cal win is going to age very well, but again, they didn't have their coach. Vanderbilt was almost shot 70% from the field that game. I just don't see that happening against Nevada. Not to mention the fact that Nevada is one of these teams that it just continues to play well. I mean, they're one of the biggest, if not the biggest team. I don't know who's bigger than Nevada. I mean, honestly, I don't. Everybody on their team is 6'7" or higher. I mean, I'm dead serious when I say that too. So I don't know a team bigger than Nevada. Not to mention the D1 experience for Nevada too. Nevada top 5 in experience, top 5 in height. The only thing the reason that I worry about this is they can't shoot free throws, and they've been shooting almost 50% from deep for the year, and I don't know if that lasts on a neutral. Vandy. again, doesn't really defend the three well so far this year, but neither team really shoots free throws that much. So if this game is somewhat close or within a couple possessions, I don't want to have to worry about Nevada shooting free throws to cover the number. But I also don't see how Nevada loses this game personally. I think this is a severe step down in class for Nevada, who's played a top 180 schedule compared to a Vanderbilt team that's played the 353rd hardest schedule in the country. So huge step up in class for Vanderbilt.
Here's what you guys are missing. I'll share my handicap with you guys. So Vanderbilt's problem is protecting the ball, but
no, they do a very good job.
No, I'm sorry. I misread my notes. Vanderbilt is good against defenses that don't force turnovers. Against defenses forcing 12 or less turnovers since last year, Vanderbilt's 8-1 against the spread, straight out of my notes.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
This is why you have 100,000 followers, bro. I can't.
Looks like that. It's looks like that. That'll get you 100K, guys. I'm just kidding. That was Rod's. Here it is.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know where I was like, what?
Kidding. No idea. That was Rod, and I put it on the graphic. That was from Rod, what I just read. All right, let's go on to the next one.
I appreciate you showing up every night, Rod. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm glad that he claims it's the real Rod too. I suppose I'll confirm with his Twitter after this.
Fake Rod would say it's the real Rod too, though.
Exactly. That doesn't prove anything. We need a DNA test, Rod. All right, last game up. Final score of this game, 45-41.
Probably.
I'm dead ass serious. Isn't 125 like too high for these two teams?
I texted Andy and I said this total at 125 is absolutely disgusting. Like it just so bad.
In all seriousness, it might be 60-50 final score.
Yeah.
Probably what I expect it to be.
Virginia's one of the slowest paced teams in the country, if not the slowest paced team in the country. Tennessee, it's kind of weird if you look back over the last couple of years. Last year with this 24th in average possession length, but in 2023 they were 246. Right now they're in the middle of the pack, but also at the same time they really haven't seen a defense like they're going to see with Virginia. Obviously, the Louisville defense was touted to be a little bit pretty good. I don't really know what to think of that Louisville game, but the other defenses that they've seen, Gardner-Webb 215, Montana 276, Austin P 220 as far as KenPom ranking and adjusted defense. Virginia's number 44. So I voiced my I voiced my opinion to Andy about I don't know what to think of this Virginia defense. They get this aura about them because they can play defense, and that's just what they've done the last 2 years. But with Tony Bennett gone, that's a lot of adjustments. And it's not that Ron Sanchez wasn't on the bench. I trust him, but I mean, Virginia can't rebound. They really struggle to score, and they should struggle to score against Tennessee. They have a turnover problem. They can't protect the ball, and everything that. All that plays into what Tennessee wants to do. They want to play defense. They have experienced guards in Ziegler and whatnot to facilitate the ball. I just don't see how Tennessee doesn't win this game going away. Do I want to lay 10 points or 12 points now in a game that has a total of 125 that's on a neutral for both of these teams? No, not really. But again, Virginia played a game on the road. Tennessee played a game on the road in Louisville. They looked really good. Virginia's played one neutral site game against Villanova. They're 61st in KenPom. They should be like 150 or lower. That team is absolutely terrible. So that doesn't really do much for me. I think Tennessee wins in a rout. But am I going to lay, like I said, with a total of 125, Rick Barnes on the road and a neutral, I'm good on that. But I think they win.
What about like a alt team? Because I get it. Laying 12.5 in a game that's with the total 125 seems crazy. But what about like an alt team total like Virginia under 50 points or something crazy to just have some fun?
Yeah, let me see what that is.
Because I mean, the team total, judging by some quick math, it's going to be roughly 56, 55.5, somewhere in that range, right?
Yeah.
So we should be somewhere there. So, I mean,
they don't list the team totals yet.
Oh, really?
At least not on Action, which is usually. I'll check the sports.
DraftKings had Oklahoma State, but that game's earlier in the day. I think this one's at 9:30.
Yeah.
This is also in the Bahamas. The winner of this game plays the winner of St. John's.
So, Andy, we know you have the parlay. You're hesitant to lay the 12.5?
Yeah. So this is the one that I honestly am a little bit the most nervous about because Virginia has been weird. Virginia isn't supposed to be playing the way they're playing. Like their defense hasn't been. I mean, their defense has been good, but again, they've played piles of shit. Their 3-point shooting's been unbelievable. That has to stop. There's no way that's going to continue. You simply cannot shoot as well as they've shot this year. I mean, they did it against Villanova last game. They probably should have lost that game, but their 3-point shooting was so good that they literally blew them out because of it. I mean, that was a neutral site too, and I think they were shooting at one point like 10 of 13.
Yeah, they shot 56% that night.
Like that's not sustainable, and especially against the Rick Barnes defense, who, as much as I think Zakai Ziegler is a fraud, the rest of them can play defense. The rest of them can play. So no, there's no bigger fraud in college basketball than Zakai. He is.
Have you ever seen Hunter Dickinson play back? You know what? I'm gonna let that go.
but yeah,
Goes,
this one.
Whoa!
that was a wild take to me.
I don't even know who that is.
The way that Virginia plays. I think the under will hit here, but if they come out and they're raining threes in another neutral site game, they could burn everybody. But I don't think that's going to happen. It's not sustainable. They're currently 9th in 3-point percentage, and they're 13th in 3-point attempts. Or point distribution, they're 13th in 3-pointers. Like, that's not sustainable. They're not keeping that up. So I don't expect them to stay hot, but that's the only way I think we get burned here. That's why I said I don't think any of those 3 teams will lose. I don't see a way any of them will lose.
I think all 3 are going to lose. I got a shot in here from the Rodfather. Bet against neutral court teams as an underdog. Slow down team averaging 53 or less. Bet against. It's 35-9 against the spread. Who's that applicable to? I can't. What is that? Bet against neutral court teams as an underdog. So I guess bet against Virginia. Slow down team averaging 53 or less shots a game. So I guess bet against the underdog in those. Got it.
Yeah, team total Virginia team total under 50.5 is plus 280. For anybody that was looking.
All right, let's do a community top bet and call it.
Community parlay, the parlay we bet, yeah. Community parlay is for the community. We community, making a parlay, yeah.
Night against West Virginia. Yeah, it's not that crazy. Those are their only 2 neutrals. Or they had a neutral against Florida.
Well, hold on, and who did they score 56 against?
West Virginia.
West Virginia is not Tennessee.
Oh, I know. That's absolutely.
Are you talking about last season? You said.
Yeah.
They played a neutral Friday. That game was in Baltimore. It was a neutral site game.
Yeah, no, the Villanova game. I'm talking about Virginia going back in the last couple of years. That's all.
That was me. Yeah, I don't think that. That was the most shocked I've ever been. I'm big on neutral site unders, and I think the under for the game nearly hit anyway. But their shooting the other night was ridiculous.
Yo, the chat voted for Vanderbilt.
Of course they did.
Yeah, because we have a sharp group watching.
I agree.
All I got there is.
All right, what's your favorite community? What's the all 6 of you that are watching this at midnight? What's your favorite bet out of those 4?
While you guys are voting, I do have 2 plays. We already talked about the FAU game. I'm on Ohio money line. I got it at minus 115. I'd play it up to like 130, I guess, but not very much higher. And then I also played UCSD plus 2. Let me see what they are right now. They're still plus 2, so you're good to go.
Who did the Bobcats
Did you say
play?
F that? Are you on LaSalle?
Sorry, me?
Yeah.
No, I didn't say that. I was.
Oh.
I had a total tomorrow, and I just forgot.
Who did the Bobcats play, Toast?
They play Middle Tennessee State or Middle Tennessee, not State.
Adiato. I mean,
it is Middle Tennessee State. They just don't often say it, unless there's a second Middle Tennessee. But I'm pretty sure it is Middle Tennessee State. They just they never say it.
Yeah,
I have a Portland.
Floyd Tinker's in the comments. Tinker, Sherlock, or get the hell out.
Yeah, Tinker. What are you doing up past your bedtime anyway?
I just mailed Tinker out his 2nd league trophy.
Huh.
He's gonna have 2 trophies to flaunt. 2 of these guys.
Tomorrow's the beginning of feast week, and let me just say, it's the most exciting I've ever been. I mean,
We've been roasting Andy in the office about Feast Week for like Prop Fever brings up Feast Week once a day. He's like, during Feast Week?
I really want to Andy's.
yes,
I want to put Andy's tweet about Feast Week on a T-shirt.
Like during Feast Week? He's like, I'm starving. So who's ready for Feast Week? And he goes in all caps on Twitter, I'm starving. No one gives a shit about Feast Week, dude. You're the only one.
He does, because finally Georgia's good. They're going to be in a tournament. They're going to be playing some good games. There's a lot of high. I mean, they just won a big football game. Andy's living high right now. He's in high spirits.
Prediction.
Andy, really quickly though, are you worried about the game now upcoming versus Jacksonville after the performance they just showed tonight?
no, I don't think Georgia's going to sleepwalk through many games this year. But I'm more nervous about this weekend because it could derail a lot of things.
Hold on. Rod likes the under in the Memphis game.
I couldn't find anything in that game. That's a weird. I don't like Memphis. I don't like betting Memphis games because they're the weirdest team in college basketball, I think.
Someone
But
also
they're
asked.
playing really good games.
Yeah, I was gonna say Memphis is like a roller coaster on steroids. It's just or a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
We're going to San Francisco too. I mean, I get it's technically at the Warriors Arena, but like it's in San Francisco.
Someone likes VCU. So a couple questions. Someone wants to know Miami Drake.
We had a lengthy conversation about this. I would take Miami, but it's tough because that I wouldn't take Drake. That's all I'll say. I wouldn't take. I think Toast said that. I wouldn't take Drake, but I think it was 10 with Miami. That's a little high. But
yeah, I literally wrote to Andy. I made it 9. It's on the move. I think the Miami guard should be able to dictate the pace, but Drake being so young, especially on the bench, doesn't help either. So if any of those guards get in foul trouble, it could be lights out early. Both of those teams, though, have played really shit schedules, and both of them haven't played on the road or on a neutral yet. So laying 10 in that spot is really hard for me to do. They have that Sturtsy kid or whatever for Drake, but he's like must have been a D2. He was like a D2 player or something like that. He's been really good for them. I don't know if he can do that against the guards from Shawshank in Miami, but there's no way I get to Drake. It's Miami or pass.
Rod likes Miami. He said Miami split by 15 plus. Someone said they like. Oh, by the way, Tinker says his lock is Hoosiers minus 17.5. Don't take that seriously. He's from Indiana. He also has a screw loose. Also, someone said they're considering taking the over in Baylor St. John's. Wants to know your guys' thoughts.
That pace of St. John's makes a lot of. They're going to hit a lot of overs this year. But again, it's a neutral site, and that game's literally played in a ballroom. So like
What do you mean by that? It's the second time you said that.
It's literally in a fucking ballroom, like at a hotel. Like you go into a hotel, the third door on the left. There's your game.
Yes.
Like a dance hall.
Yes.
Yeah, like, have you ever been to a banquet room for like?
Yeah, but like you can't fit a basketball court in there.
Yes, you can.
It's a. You'll
like a really big.
It's real tight. It's real tight.
So does that mean over or under? What does that mean?
Neutral site unders are a thing. I always like to take neutral site unders. So because those teams are going to start cold shooting. Last year, Georgia and Miami played there. Miami came in there shooting hot as hell. They didn't hit any of their first 15 shots. Like that's a weird environment.
The only pushback, again, neutral site unders are a thing. I like playing the first half unders because if it is neutral site in a close game, it could end up being a free throw fest. I mean, there's just little things. I mean, it's just kind of what you like. I mean, I'm a first half under type of person, especially on a neutral. But
the community top bet is Baylor minus 2.5. Andy, nobody likes your St. John's pick, and nobody likes you.
It's okay.
Nobody likes your St. John's pick.
That's going to be my Alabama pick from last week. They're going to play like Baylor's going to play like crap, and then they're going to blow out the team the next day.
Where am I seeing?
All right, I got to get the NC State Georgia Tech video is going up right now, and then Brown Steelers will be up in probably about 45 minutes. Andy's editing it, and he's going to send it to me. You're finished that already?
Almost. I said almost.
Oh, okay.
Graphics in their place.
All right, everyone, thanks for watching. See you all tomorrow, same time as always. Got 2 more videos coming up. Also, there's a Raiders Broncos video up. Uploaded a bunch of videos today, some college videos. We want to check them out. See you all tomorrow.